Hello everyone, my name is Prabhat and welcome to p3clouds.com. In this tutorial, I am going to talk about Lightning record form in LWC. So there are a few benefits of using Lightning record form in LWC. The first thing, what you can do using Lightning record form. You can create a form to add, view or update a record. The first thing you can do. The second thing you can do, it's an easiest way to work with Salesforce data. We don't need any server-side controller to retrieve the data for particular object. There are some limitations as well. Not all the standard objects are supported. For example, event and task in Lightning record form. So let's move to VS Code and let's do some hands-on and create a Lightning record form in Salesforce using LWC. So let's go. Okay, so I am on the VS Code. So let's create a Lightning web component, and in this component we are going to write our code. So to create the Lightning web component, if you are a Windows user, you can press Ctrl+Shift+P and then you can just type create Lightning web component. Once you enter, it will ask for desired file name. So for me, I'll give file name Lightning form and I'll save it to the default directory. So once you create it, you will have 3 files. So I'll move to Lightning record form HTML markup file, and here we are going to write our markup. Okay, so let's define a Lightning card. So I have created the Lightning card and definitely I'll provide some title to it. So I name it, as we are going to create the form on contact record, so I'll name it contact record edit. Okay, and inside here we will write our logic. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'll define a div, and to this div I'll provide a class, and that class would be SLDS medium. So to define our Lightning form, you can just write Lightning and then hyphen, then if you type record, you will get this Lightning form. Close it. So we have defined our Lightning form. So there are few attributes that you need to define in order to work with Lightning form. So the first thing is you need to define an object for which object you are going to create this form. So for this you can just define object API name, and for now I'll just I'll define a variable and then we will reference in the JavaScript. You will see next. API object name. So here we will provide the object name. Then there is a second attribute which is record ID. So VS Code is smart enough, it is suggesting me. So in this we will define record ID, and then the third is we have fields, and in the fields we'll define the fields which we want to display on the record form. Okay, now it's done. So we have 3 variables: object name, record ID and fields. Now let's move to JavaScript file, and here in the JavaScript file we are going to reference those object. So the first thing we will do, we'll just import the API, and then we will define a record ID using API. Record ID, and we'll define object API name as well. So with the object API name, object API name, we'll define object API name. So we define two variables, object API name and record ID. Now other things, what are the fields you want to display on the form, we are going to define this. Okay, so to define this, I'll just define fields, and then I'll create variable like this, and I need what I need, actually I need name, field, and also I need email field. So these two fields I want to update on the contact object, so I defined the contact. So let's import these two fields from the contact object, and to import it we need to write import. I'll just copy this, and from then this and Salesforce schema, and then we have contact and name, and same thing we are going to do with for the emails to import the fields. So I'll just here mention this and email. So we are almost done. I'll push the changes to Salesforce. No, before pushing it, actually we need to go to the XML file, and here we need to expose this component as true, and there are few configuration that we need to do. So we made it true. The other things, we need to define the targets. So basically where you want to display this. Targets, and inside the targets we are going to define target, and this target, I don't know why it is not auto completion is not working for XML file. Okay, and here I'll define lightning record page. So this is what we need to define. The other thing we need to define is the object, so that this variable, okay, no, so let's try it if it is working or not. So I'll just push it, deploy this to source hub. Okay, it got deployed. Now I'll move to Salesforce, and here I'll navigate to one of the app. Let's navigate to Sales Cloud. Okay, so here in the Sales Cloud I'll go to contact object. Let me see if we have any contact. Okay, so we have this contact. In the contact object, what I'm going to do, I can just reference, let's click here and do edit page. Okay, in the edit page, what you need to do, you need to search your component name, which is lightning form, See the component visible here. And what I'm going to do, I'll go to the detail page. For now I'll just remove this activity and I'll drag our component which we created here. Save it. Oh. So I'll activate it. And the activation will be done to org default for desktop and phone. Let's save it. It got activated. Go back to the contact. Yeah, so here is our form. So let's change the name. From Andy, I'll name it Lauren. And if I save it, the name will get changed. See here. Also we can change emails. Maybe I can type email lauren.young@yahotmail.com. and if you save it, if you see here, this email is going to be changed. Okay, so this is how you can create lightning form. And the benefit of creating the lightning form is you don't need to write any kind of server-side language, like you don't need to write anything in Apex. You can just use this standard kind of component, and that component is going to allow you to save the record, edit the record, or even create the record. In next video we'll see how can you create the record, and also I'll talk about some other lightning based component. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.